Welcome back to Yet Journeyed. This video is going to be about the truth, like the actual truth behind my son's birth, because a lot of my family doesn't know, and I thought it was time that they were included in what actually happened. Okay, so what actually happened was around like month 8, they noticed that his cord was wrapped around his neck twice, and he was a lot bigger than they thought he was actually going to be. So my OB opted for a C-section. All my family knew that I was having a C-section, but they didn't know the actual date. I told them the 27th because I was like, you know what? I want time to myself after I have him. I don't want everybody around. I just want to be with myself, with my husband, well, fiance at the time. I just want to be with him and his family and just kind of chill and get to know the baby and just have it all like that. No. So my first original due date for the C-section was the 22nd of March, and I get up 4 o'clock in the morning. No, sorry, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we get to the hospital. Everything's chill, everything's calm. I check in, I tell them my name, my date of birth. Then they get me prepped in the recovery room, which is like a room where you go to prep, and then that's the room you go back into after you have a C-section. And so I'm in there, it's all hot, and I'm like, man, it's hot. And the lady's like, you'll find out why. So everything's going so smoothly, everything's just perfect, everything's just easing by. They're like, drink this, make sure you haven't eaten, yada yada yada. I'm signing paperwork, I'm getting an anesthesiologist to talk to me, all this good stuff. And then I think it was the head nurse in charge of that morning or something was like debating with my OB about how she wasn't gonna allow me to get the C-section that morning because he was like 38 weeks and like 7 days, and I was like, bruh, are you serious? I gotta go back home. I was livid, and my OB was hella livid. He was like cussing this lady out for doing her job, but he was so mad. So we went home, no baby, hella mad. Go back home, we're chilling, and just to let somebody know, I let my stepmom know. I was like, hey, yeah, I just left the hospital. And she's like, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, everything's fine. I was having contractions, and they said it's too early, I'm not dilated, so they sent me home. Oh, they sent me home, and she's like, okay, let me know if something happens so I could come and see you. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So then the next morning comes, and I can't sleep after, I think it was midnight, 11 o'clock. It was 11:30 because I had to get there at 4 o'clock. 11:30, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, but I can't eat. I can't sleep. I'm so excited. I'm finally going to meet my son. And I was just like, yes, finally. So I think like we wake up, we get up at 3, I take a shower, I shave again. I'm dreading getting stuck in the hand with a needle because it's a giant needle and I have shitty veins. And then we get to the hospital. They do the whole thing again. They have to do the whole process over, and I was upset. But the only thing is they didn't have to ask so many questions because they already had the questions in from yesterday. So everything went smoothly, and they were rushing this time, and I was mad because I was like, it's so upsetting. But it's time. I walk into the OR. And I'm all like, damn, this is seriously about to happen. And the anesthesiologist gave me way too much, and I mean way too much medication. I mean, I was sitting there like high as a kite. I remember this. I remember being like, damn, she gave me too much. I'm gonna die on this table. I'm gonna die right here on this goddamn table because this bitch gave me too much. Oh, and I was doing the whole lean forward and hunch out your back so she could get a good stick, and she stuck my nerve and she made my leg kick, and I was so mad. I was like, what are you doing back there? You're gonna fuck me up. Go fuck up my spine and I'm gonna be paralyzed. It was crazy. So after all of that, I lay down. I start freaking out because I can't move. And then I get all nauseous and end up throwing up. And they had to give me medication to stop the nausea so I could breathe, but my heart rate was going up. It had gotten up to like 200 something. And so they had to rush and get him out. And so they got him out. Oh no. My husband came in, sat down. He saw me all fucked up and he was like... And so then Dylan came out, they cleaned him off and everything, and then Hubs got to go see him and take pictures of him, and we have the pictures of when he first came out, and it's awesome. I still have those pictures on my phone. So after that, I get rolled back into the recovery room. Well, they stitched me up. I get rolled back into the recovery room. At this point, I understand why they had the heat on, because I was freezing. And it was like, I was just so cold because I had lost so much blood and liquid or amniotic fluid. And everything was good. Everything was, what's the damn word? Everything was like smooth. So we get to like an hour of being in a recovery room, and then like an hour and a half, and then they were like, okay, your room's ready. I got the VIP room. Ugh, I didn't even know what that was. I just thought it was a nice room. I got a good room. I had my own room, and then across, it was 2 rooms in one. So then my husband got his own room. Well, it was like a couch, but he converted into a big bed, and then he had that one, and then he had his own restroom, like a mini fridge, his own TV. It was nice. And insurance paid for all of it. So it came time after I wasn't so drugged up. And mind you, it's still 6 something in the morning, 6, 7 in the morning. So nobody has any idea that I had just had a baby. So, like, I want to say 8, maybe 9, when the drugs started to wear off and I was clear-headed again. I started calling people or trying to, but nobody's picking up the phone. So I just like, screw it. They got to call me. And the person I really wanted to know or let know that I had just had the baby was my stepmom, Sheik. So I'm calling her and 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 calling her. And I'm like, damn, what are you doing? I'm like, pick up the phone. So I have to call my dad. And I was like, Dad, can you please call Sheik? And he's like, wow, what's wrong? And I was like, I had a baby. And he was like, you had the baby. So everybody's like freaking out now because they're thinking like I have 4 more days before I have the baby. And nobody knows the actual scheduled C-section was just pushed back a day or 5 days, because I said the 27th and I was actually the 22nd, but it got pushed back to the 23rd because he was supposed to be like 39 weeks. So everybody's calling everybody now. Everybody's freaking out. And now everybody's like, where are you? Where are you? I'm coming to see you. I want to see the baby. So my dad finally gets a hold of my stepmom. And the story she tells is that she found out like I had just had the baby, and she like literally dropped everything she was doing and just ran to the car, forgot her keys, forgot her purse. And then she came to see me and she was like so happy and just like, so after that, everything was pretty smooth. And then I stayed in the hospital for 5 days. I was mad. 5 days I stayed in the hospital, but it was pretty sweet. So yeah, that's my story. That's the entire truth. That's the real story of my birth. The birth of my son. All right. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to smash that like button if you really like the story. And leave a comment of your birth stories or what you think your birth story was be like. I don't know how people would think about their birth. Or if you're pregnant, what's your birth plan? All right, later.